I know a lot of people get discouraged with electrified netting because they wind up having a sheep, usually a lamb, get entangled in the fence, and of course if the fence is on, that lamb is going to get shocked to death, it's going to die, and it's a horrible thing to have happen. But this is a preventable problem once you understand a couple of things. One is you need to keep your fences straight and tight. Not tight like high tensile fence, but just taut. And there's a few tricks to doing that. First of all, either use your four-wheeler to drive a track to follow, to squish the grass down, or you can mow a path with a bush hog or something like that. The other thing is at where your fence ends or tees with the main fence, you want to have some kind of tension on it. So I take these 1/2-inch posts and I drive them in. I'll show you here. Drive them in so that they're at an angle, sticking out like that. And when I tie this to the fence, it pulls this in and it acts like a spring. And it will tighten up this fence. Here you can see this fence is a little bit sloppy, and that's because I haven't tensioned this end. If I take this and pull it tighter, do you see how it tensioned it? Now why does that matter? It matters because if the lamb puts its head through here and pulls that post out of the ground, which wasn't very hard, see how the fence stays up when I let go, even though that post isn't even in the ground? In this case, the lamb can pull back on this fence to get out, and that fence is going to stay standing. Here we have a fence that's a little bit sloppy. So if a lamb manages to get its head trapped in here and it pulls that post up, that fence falls down onto the lamb. Next thing he does is he tries to turn around, and now he's got his head trapped. And what they famously do is they keep trying to spin around until they start wrapping this fence around the body, pulling all the posts out. That's how they get trapped. Even worse is if you zigzag your fence instead of having a straight line. Here's why you want to reinforce your corners and do not zigzag your fence. Because if an animal puts its head under the fence right in here and dislodges this post, it's going to fall down on top of the animal and trap them and shock them to death. So another thing that I do is whenever I have a little extra fence like I do here, this didn't meet the end of this fence that goes a long ways like that. It didn't quite, I didn't have it quite exactly right, so I had about this extra 18 inches or so. So I'll put in a 1/2-inch post like this. Again, this post was at an angle. I don't know if you can see the tension in it, but this was placed angling out away so that when I go around this corner, it's putting a little tension on this. I just haven't put the post on the opposite end there to help tension it as well.